sometimes we have to study something more than the given subject. For example, we are studying physics, but still we have to use some mathematical formulae and also Cartesian plane. So students, this is your cute channel Akanksha classes, and I am your Sushil sir. Good evening. Now I am going to teach you vector form of Coulomb's law. Students, actually Coulomb uncle represented his law related to calculate force between two point charges kept at R separation, but as we know, force is a vector quantity, hence we require to write the Coulomb law representing expression in vector form. Students, first of all, I want to discuss with you on some topics, on some situations. Suppose that 2 point charges Q1, Q2 are kept at R separation from each other. Students, in this situation, I will not discuss about the nature of charges. This means there is no need to tell if they are plus minus, minus plus, or plus plus, or minus minus. They may be of any nature. It doesn't matter. But the distance between them is actually R. Suppose if they were kept somewhere in a Cartesian plane and we plot first the two axes, the vertical line is y dash axis, while horizontal line x dash axis, that intersect each other at 90 degree. The intersection point is known as origin. Students, first we join the origin to both the charges Q1 and Q2. In this case, this line represents the position of both vectors, say Q1, Q2. Hence, we call this as position vector. As we start from origin and into charge 1, so it is the rule of writing vector. How to write vector? We always write the name of receivers first. After writing the name of receiver, we write the name of sender. Here, this vector is sent to Q1. Hence, 1 is written first. And from where it is sent? It is sent from origin. But there is no need to write, as it is common sense. But again, R2. R2 is a position vector for denoting, for representing charge Q2. Charge 2, that is represented by Q2. We have to determine how they can be converted in the form of vector. Students, we have to find value of resultant of R2 and R1. We have to find their resultant. This means here R2, this means vector drawn from charge 1 into charge 2. If we start drawing a vector from 1 and into 2, this means 2 is receiver. Hence R21 means resultant resultant of separation in the vector form, that is starts from 1 into 2. This means radius or distance between charges 1 and 2, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. That can be calculated by the applying vector rule, that will be equal to difference of both the position vectors, vector 2 minus vector 1. Here vector 2 means position vector of charge 2 and R1 means position vector of charge 1. Students, in this case charge 1 will feel some force due to charge 2. Here the force that is felt by charge 1, is said to be charge exerted by 2 or 1. This means force is sent by charge 2 and is acted on charge 1. Then force acting on charge 1 is due to charge 2 is written as force on charge 1 due to charge 2. I think clear concept. And magnitude of resultant of vector 1 to 2, vector 1 to 2 is represented by R. That is the real resultant. Now we will define a new term, unit vector. Unit vector specifies the direction. Unit vector is used for specifying the direction, and we define unit vector as always unit vectors cap r cap. Here r cap 12 means unit vector from 2 to 1. Any unit vector start drawn from 2 to 1. Here unit vector from 1 to 2, from 1 to 2. As I have told you already, always written first the name of receiver, then name of sender. That is equal to resultant vector from 2 to 1 upon magnitude of resultant vector from 2 to 1. I think you better understood. Now we have to find Coulomb's law in vector form, but here there are some figures are drawn. We have to say something about them. Students, just imagine here, if you have to find charge for charge 1, this means you have to calculate the force acting on charge 1 of who exerts force, from where this force come. This means the charge that influence its field will be the force producer. This means we can say that charge 2 is exerting a force that is acting on charge 1. A force is exerting by charge 2 that is acting on charge 1, and is represented by force exerted by charge 2 acting on charge 1. Same way, force will also be exerted by 1 for charge 2. How will we read it? We will read it like the force exerted by charge 1. The force exerted by charge 1 and acting on charge 2 is written as force exerted by charge 1 acting on charge 2. Students, in this way we can find some strange facts related to Newton's law. As till where I have studied with you, always it is proved that all the rules, all the theories related to electricity agrees with Newton's completely. Here we have to say that the force exerted by charge 2 for charge 1 is equal to the force exerted by charge 1 acting on charge 2. Okay. But what these figures indicate? These figures indicates that if the nature of both charges, would be same, positive, the value of Q1 and Q2, the value of Q1 and Q2 will also be, the value of Q1, Q2 will also be positive. All the positive quantities are said to be greater than 0. In this situation, the product of Q1, Q2 is greater than 0. But if they were unlike charges, what would happen? Their product, positive, negative, is negative. This means here positive, because of being product positive, it is greater than 0, and here the product will be negative. This means the product of Q1, Q2 is less than 0. As negatives are always less than 0. In the third situation, if both the charges were negative, the product of two negative quantities is always positive, and their mathematical value becomes positive. In the situation Q1, Q2 is greater than 0. Now we apply first Coulomb's law. F equals 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, because we are studying all these facts in vacuum. In the next chapter, we will try to keep the charges in some other mediums, sometime in some matters, sometime in some liquids, sometime in some gases, and we'll try to our best to find the situations that will be very different from this situation. At that time, we will use epsilon and name of medium. At that time, we will write the permittivity of that medium, and this is the permittivity of free space. Q1, Q2 by here. If I have to find the force acting on charge 1 due to charge 2. Here the force acting on charge 1 exerted by charge 2. Here who received force? Charge 1 received a force. Who exerted force? Charge 2 exerted force. Then we will write Q1 receiver, Q2 sender. Here magnitude of vector to 1 from 2. And R cap. But if we want to calculate the force applied on charge 2 exerted by charge 1, we will write this expression in this way. This is the same 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught, as currently we are discussing about the charges that are kept in vacuum, and this is the permittivity of vacuum. In next chapter, when we will talk about the force between two charges kept in any other mediums, then we will not write epsilon naught, then we will write epsilon, name of that medium. Here Q2 Q1 by magnitude of vector from 1 to 2, unit vector from 1 to 2. This is very simple, but as Newton's third law states that action is always equal to reaction, here we will also discuss on that factor. When a force is exerted by charge Q2 and is acting on charge Q1, will be as action. What will happen? The charge Q will also exert a force for charge 2. The both forces, and this force is called reaction. According to Newton's third law of motion, the both forces will be equal in magnitude but opposite in direction. Thus, we reach at a stage that F force on charge 1 due to charge 2 is equal to negative of magnitude of force on charge 2 due to charge 1. Thus, both types of forces are equal in magnitude. This can be explained like this. If magnitude of force applied by 2 acting on 1, this means absolute value of force on 1 due to 2 is equal to absolute value of force on 2 is due to 1. This means their magnitudes are equal, only directions are differ. Now we conclude that some facts are also remain for defining, but this equation can be used for determining force calculation by the interaction of two charges Q1 Q2 kept at two different positions. Further, we have to determine some more facts. What type facts we have to determine? Let's try. If ये bigger charge Q and a smaller charge Q are kept at a separation of R from each other, and we have to find the vector formula for applying in calculation of force between them. First of all, we have to draw a Cartesian plane and join the position of both charges to origin. And it doesn't matter which charge you will call first. If you call this charge first, then this is R1. That is position vector used for locating the position of charge Q somewhere kept in a Cartesian plane. And this R2 is called position vector for charge 2 that is kept somewhere in a Cartesian plane. These facts are very important for you, not only for state boards but also for CBSE board as well as JEE, Maths and Advanced, also in NEET. So students, remember that. Once again, what type of mistakes you used to make? Q1, Q2. If you have to calculate the force between these two charges, if ये force is exerted, this means 2 is sender, 1 is receiver. Yep. First, who received force? 1. Who sent force? 2. This means force acting on force acting on charge 1 due to, this means charge 2 is the producer of force and charge 1 is the receiver of force. I think you better understand this fact, and the same fact is applied for writing all the numeric form of vectors. This means ये vector drawn from 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 2, 1 to 2. R1 2 means just opposite. It is vector start from 1. This means sender is 1, receiver is 2. Understood completely? Now students, in this video, this is the last scene, and with this, good night. Thank you very much. Bye.